Good afternoon. This is Chris Robinson, Robinson Ag Marketing, with today's post-close grain and livestock comments for Friday, September 19th, 2025. First things real quick, if you're not getting my letter, take a look at it. It goes up Monday through Friday, and then Saturday I do a long-term outlook, weekly look. If you need help, give me a call, 312-638-8868. Okay, on to what happened today. Disappointment. No beans. Looked like we were going to make a run through 1050. Stalled out. The phone call to China did not go as most of the bulls had hoped for. We did not get anything that mentioned soybeans. And I think the world's starting to realize now that if we do get a soybean deal, it's going to affect 2026 beans, not 2025 stuff. Because 2025 stuff, the Chinese are pretty much fully bought up. On the end of the day, we did finish down 12 cents after being in a 25-cent trading range of beans. However, though, pretty big break if you happen to buy the top and didn't have a hedge. Not much fun to lose 1,500 bucks on one lot going into the weekend. Whoever said that trading soybeans was easy did not spend 22 years in the pits like I did. It is a vicious game. And if you do not respect the risk, they will clean your clock. Um, so on that note, we did finish down 12 cents, 10.25 and a half. December corn finished up a quarter cent, but for the week it was a pretty disappointing week. We were not able to fill the gap going back to July 4th at 432 and three quarters. We could not really even get above 430. We came within a penny and a half of filling that gap twice. For the life of me, I'm surprised they did not get that. Um, Everybody's looking to see if we can get up to 440, which is the 200-day moving average. However, like they say, the bull needs to be fed every day. And if we don't get it fed, it starts to slip. In the wheat, down a penny and three quarters in Chicago. In Kansas City, down 2.5. Minneapolis, down 4.5. Again, we'd had a pretty good bounce in Chicago wheat. If you take the low from the contract low of 512 all the way back to the June high, remember we traded 616. Well, that's a $1.04 haircut. This week we did manage to claw back 25% of that sell off. Again, problem is we finished the week on our heels, and that's not what we're looking for. We need to turn the corner here and get this thing going. So disappointment in the wheat, disappointment in the soybeans for sure. On the flip side, it was nice to see cattle hanging in there. If you're long cattle, after having a $13 correction in fat cattle, a $25 correction in feeder cattle, which scared a lot of people. For 10 months now, people have been trying to figure out if this next correction is the one. We're still close to all-time highs, but we did finish higher on the day. We had December finished up 235, up $1.57 at 235.7. October feeders finished up 237 at 354 and change. Why those numbers matter? Well, if you look at the slide we had, again, $13 in fats, $24, almost $25 in feeders. We spent this whole week basically calling back close to half of that. Now that we have the catalog feed, we'll see if that adjusts next week. April hogs finished close to 93 cents. Again, if you've done nothing in April hogs or even in December hogs, it's time to get after it. Go out to July as well. It's been a very, very good run. You don't want to get left holding the bag in case we do correct. What else is there to talk about? Let's see. Stock market finished up about 160 points, still hanging in there. New all-time high for the S&P 500. Let me see if it's a new all-time high for the Dow. Let me look real quick. I'm looking at futures now. Yep. New all-time high settlement, at least for the Dow, 46,327. September S&P futures looks like we dipped for the futures. We had a new high. Oh my goodness, 6660. I'm old enough to remember the low in the Great Financial Crisis, which was, you guessed it, 666. So I don't know if that means anything, but again, if you go back to what happened to us back in April we were down at 4,800 in the S&P. So to be at 4,800, almost 2,000 points since then, it's just been an incredible bounce. And again, what goes up eventually will go down. But boy, it's nice if you're long the stock market to see it making new highs. Everybody's afraid of potentially the correction that's going to come. We continue to climb this wall of worry, and We'll have to continue to see. Why does it matter? Why am I talking about it? Well, it could probably really turn cattle if the stock market ever turned. That's one thing that I'd be watching if I was long cattle. So, on that note, have a good rest of the week. If you're looking for help, have a good rest of the weekend. Excuse me. Friday night. I think we're all ready for a couple of days off. This is Chris Robinson, Robinson Ag Marketing, 312 638 8868. Have a good rest of the night.